Hi everyone, we're here today to show you the benefits of a service advisor doing a walk around with the customer and highlighting some key features around the new Mac Pioneer. An additional benefit of a walk around beyond what you see on the screen is that it gives the service advisor the opportunity to strengthen your customer relationship and the customer's experience by increasing your customer's familiarity with the special features of the all-new Mac Pioneer. So Sylvia, when it comes to a walk around, what's the best way for a service advisor to start?
Definitely going to be the greeting. So you want to make sure that your greeting is authentic, right? You want to make sure that it's welcoming to the customer because you're going to be the first face that the customer is going to see. You're going to represent your dealership from the start.
And imagine with a good greeting that's going to set the tone for the service experience, really give them the opportunity to build that relationship with the customer as well, which is important. And usually with that relationship can come some more information that they'll get from the customer. And that information is important when it comes to information about the truck, the state that the truck is coming in. And doing a walk around with the customer means looking and getting a pre-inspection almost on what the state of the truck is as it comes into the dealership. You know, we know a lot about the importance of taking the pictures of the four corners or being able to do a video, at the very least, taking some detailed notes to share with the technicians. Because when technicians get as much information as possible, it makes it a little bit easier for them to do their jobs. It's a great opportunity too for service advisors and technicians to come together and really work on what questions can be asked to get that information and what information technicians are looking for so they can do their job more effectively. So with that, what else are service advisors responsible for doing when checking in?
Well, I think it's really important to make sure that you're hooking up to the check-in tool, right? So when you hook up, it's going to give you some data on the truck. So that's of course going to be very important, and also it's going to show efficiency as well, because immediately when you're hooking up to the truck, it's going to create an assist case for you, so you don't have to go back to your desk, log onto the computer, create an assist case. That check-in tool is going to do that for you.
That makes sense. And you know, check-in tool is part of the workshop toolbox, and we've got an Academy Live with a lot of information about the workshop toolbox, the new check-in tool, how it's going to affect the service advisors and the warranty admin's job role. And that Academy Live can be found in the video library in the development guide.
Okay, great.
Yeah. So I've heard a lot about the Mac Pioneer, and that a lot of the focus is on aerodynamics, safety, and fuel efficiency. So what can you tell me here about aerodynamics?
Okay, well, talking about that, so this is a new hood, all right? So it wraps tightly around the engine. All right, so that's going to help with the aerodynamics as well. So we've got a new grille here, so when the air flows, it's not going around the radiator, it's actually going through the radiator, right? So there are a couple of vents that you're going to see on each side of the truck, right? That's where that air is going to escape. So something else that's going to help with aerodynamics is the windshield, right? That's new too. It's more curved, right? And it has a bigger kind of tilt back. So when the air hits it, instead of hitting it like this, it's kind of going up, so the air is escaping that way. And for those folks that are not new to Mac, your Bulldog actually looks a little different here, right? It's kind of got a little cover on it, so same Bulldog, same bark, right? Just a little different position, and that's also going to help with the aerodynamics.
A little bit more of a recessed look
yes,
in there.
Definitely,
okay.
Definitely.
So how about fuel efficiency?
Okay, so with your fuel efficiency, the aerodynamics is actually going to help a lot with that, right? One thing about the front of the truck, so in the previous models, the Mac emblem here was more toward the front of the truck or the middle of the grille, right? So we've moved it down, and that is actually going to help with the airflow, right? At one point, it was blocking the air condenser, or the AC condenser, excuse me. So moving it down is going to help with that airflow, with that cooling of the engine, right? It all kind of ties in together.
Okay. Now, what about safety features did they put in here?
Well, we got some great safety features, right? We know that Mac is reliable, it's durable. Safety is definitely a big thing. So on the new Pioneer, you've got the de-icing headlights, which is really good, especially if you're driving in those winter climates, right? You don't have to worry about any frost or anything getting on your lights. So, right, that's going to help you. It's going to make sure that you're going to be able to see your road conditions, right, very clearly. You've got a couple of vents here that are going to help cool those 24-volt LED lights that we have here, right? So other things that are going to help with safety, there is a flared chassis frame rail. So if you're ever involved in an accident, right, and it's severe enough, what will happen will be that the engine and the transmission will be drawn downward. So you're going to be really safe in that cab if anything like that were to happen. Now inside the cab, we've got a couple of really good features. There is an airbag inside the steering column, which is new. Also, heaven forbid that you're ever involved in a rollover situation. It's got rollover protection. So what's going to happen is engine is going to shut down, right? The parking brake's going to be set. The door is going to unlock, right? And if it detects that the airbag has deployed, it will make an emergency call for you.
That's pretty impressive.
Very much.
All right, so I guess now we're going to go around to the driver's side of the truck and
Let's take a look and see what we got over here.
Perfect. So Sylvia, what's some things that the service advisor can talk about on the driver's side of the truck?
So there are a lot of things on here, the driver's side, that service advisor can talk about, right? First, we've got the 24-volt electrical system. Although it is still we're getting accustomed to it in our trucks here in North America, this system has been proven to be very successful worldwide. It's been tested, right? So a great thing about this system is that it runs on a low amperage. So that means that there's going to be less heat, less stress on the components, which is really important because this is a fairly expensive system and you don't want to think about having to replace components early on. So it's going to extend the life of this system. And something else that's really important to touch on is the smart battery management system. That's going to come in really handy for drivers, right? It's going to continuously monitor your batteries. So it's going to give them that reassurance that it's less likely they're going to be stranded roadside because of a battery issue, right? You also have the ultra capacitor on this truck, right? The ultra capacitor, when it is fully charged, it's going to give the driver an opportunity to start their truck multiple times, even if the batteries are low in the truck. One thing you want to make sure of is that you're not charging the ultra capacitor directly because it will damage it. The posts are located behind this red box here. You want to make sure that you're using a 12 volt battery charger when you're using those posts, right? So if you're ever in a situation where you are roadside and you do need to charge the system, there's two things that you want to make sure of, right, that your customer knows. First of all, we are no longer doing the traditional jump start method to get the truck started. Now we're jump charging it, right? So they want to make sure that whether it's them that's handling it or they've got a road service vendor that's out here taking care of it, that they know the proper procedure when it comes to charging the system.
So this isn't just a change in names, this is a change in process when it comes to charging the system. So it's important that the dealer is aware of any CBRs or service bulletins that are released. It sounds like it's definitely important that the technicians get this information since this is new technology and a new way of working. And then I would imagine any tow vendors that dealerships partner with will need to know about it. Customers and drivers definitely need to know because if they are stuck, they need to be able to advocate for their own truck to make sure that it's taken care of. And then certainly service advisors need to know. While when nobody's asking them to give technical advice, they are that front line to the customer, and so being able to make sure they are aware of these changes to prevent any damages to their truck.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's important for your customer to know if someone does mishandle this, right, and use the prior technique, it could really damage this system as well as some of the electrical systems inside the truck.
I can imagine so. So what are some normal things that a service advisor would usually check?
Yep, so right here you're going to want to make sure you're checking the mirrors, make sure there aren't any cracks in the mirror or any loose parts, right? Also something simple for them to go ahead and check your DEF cap as well as your fuel cap, making sure that they're secured tightly, that there isn't anything that's coming out of that, right? And something else that's really important to check are these fuel straps, right? The fuel tank straps. You want to make sure that they're not loose, that they are secure, right? Because it's going to help hold your fuel tank in place, make sure it's not moving around as you're driving.
Makes sense. All right, I guess it's time to move further down the truck.
Yeah, let's see what we've got.
Sylvia, what are some things that service advisors can look for back here on the truck?
Well, you can definitely look at the tires, make sure there's no wear and tear on the tires here. Also, the Pioneer comes with the option of either a basic or advanced tire pressure monitoring system. So the great thing about the advanced is, of course, it's going to do the same thing that the basic does, which is check your tire pressure, right? But with the advanced, it also gives the opportunity for the driver to have historical data about his tires. So if there happens to be a blowout, he's going to be able to retrieve that data if there's a blowout that's constantly happening on one side of the truck, right? Another great thing about the advanced is, say you have to move this tire here to that back tire there, you're just swapping them out, right? Instead of having to go to a dealership and let them know that you had to make that swap with the tire, it will automatically locate which tire it is. So you're going to get the accurate reading for the accurate tire. So it's just following it. So, also, one other thing that I would suggest too is the leveling valve or the leveling rod. Right? It's very simple. It's right here for you. The thing about that, it's such a small part, but if that were to fail, the driver would think that their transmission is blown, right? And all it is maybe it could be the leveling rod or the leveling valve has failed. So always check that too. Make sure it's not loose.
So while we certainly want service advisors checking for all of these things, when it comes to some of the features we've pointed out, there's only one or two that they really need to talk about. They don't need to highlight every single one with the customer. And with the Mack Pioneer, the nice thing is the customer has the option to get this foldable fairing. And so not only sharing information that they know about the Pioneer, but actions speak louder than words. If they check on the inside and see there's hinges, they can fold this fairing out, show that knowledge that they have of the Pioneer. And that in turn can instill some trust into the customer that the truck is in the right hands with the dealership and that they can be trusted. This fairing also, foldable fairing, also gives more access to the catwalk, pigtails, and the glad hands as well.
Definitely. All right. Well, there are a couple more features on the rear of the truck. If you want to come on along, we'll talk about those.
Yeah.
So back here we have the 8-bag heavy-duty air suspension, the Max Ride or the M Ride, right? So the drivers are going to notice the control, the handling of the truck, the smoothness, which is going to be great, especially for those that are long haul drivers, right? It's going to help eliminate some of the driver fatigue from those long hauls, right? This is also a great opportunity to show the customer that you care about their service, right? Care about them bringing their truck into your dealership. You can look at the fifth wheel and offer a complimentary greasing of the fifth wheel. I think that will make the customer feel like, you know, they're special and you want them here.
Yeah. Now I noticed these black boxes here. I haven't seen these before. What are these?
Yes, those are real new. So those are the air vents. So I'm sure a lot of drivers have experienced that suction that you get when you open and close the door. Well, those vents are actually going to help eliminate that issue, right? It's going to equalize the pressure inside the cab with the atmospheric pressure outside. So it's going to be a smooth opening and closing of the door. And if you notice above that, Liz, there are some backup cameras, right? Well, there's one backup camera. So most drivers are probably used to having those in their car, so why not have it on your truck? So it comes in really handy when you're backing into a trailer. It's kind of like a one and done. They don't have to continuously reposition themselves to align with the trailers.
Now I noticed there's some additional ports with it as well. What are those for? Just cameras or more?
No, you can only plug in your cameras with that. So this is a great opportunity for you to suggest to the customer, hey, would you like some more information on additional cameras that you can add to your truck?
Nice. So we've covered the driver's side, the front of the truck and now the back of the truck. So all that we have left is the passenger side.
Yeah, let's go. Let's
All
take a look
right.
and see what we got over there.
Perfect.
So Liz, did you know with the new Pioneer there's a potential for increased maintenance intervals, right? So of course it's going to depend on driver habits, the quality of the oil, and the parts that you're putting on the truck. So
Well, that speaks more to fuel efficiency, right?
definitely,
Awesome.
definitely. So just like the driver's side, you have your secondary fuel tank over here. So you want to make sure that you're checking the caps, making sure that it's not loose, right? So it's super important. Also here, what you probably noticed on the driver's side is we've got some digital mirrors up here. Now, really important about those digital mirrors, on this side right here, on the passenger side, there's actually two cameras, right? One is facing downward, so it's gonna help make sure that it's clear on this area, you're not hitting any curbs or any trash cans or anything like that. And it also has a camera that points to the back, right? So you're gonna be able to see to the very end of your trailer, right? So it's going to be helping with the pivoting when you're pivoting with the trailer, so that's good. Also, if you noticed, these mirrors are really, really small.
Yeah.
So these are the smallest legal mirrors that we can put on the truck, and the reason why we're able to do that is because it accompanies that digital mirror. Okay.
Now, both of these mirrors, especially the one up there, I know there's a lot of drivers that there's potential for hitting branches.
Yes.
What happens with that camera?
Well, what'll happen is once it detects that it hits something, actually not just the camera but the mirror, it will fold in, so to protect it. Another thing about this camera, the lens has a clear film over it, so it's going to help repel water. Right? And it also has infrared night vision. So if you're driving down the road, right, a cornfield, not a lot of lights, you're still going to be able to see clear as day.
Nice. And I see there's a little, what's this right here? There
Yes.
seems to be a little something under there.
Yes, so that's a puddle light, that's what we call it. So you're going to be able to make sure that you're not missing a step when you're getting into the truck, right? So in here, in this compartment here, is where the linear EATS system is housed. Okay, so again, new truck means new parts. So Liz, where can someone look up information about the parts that are available for this truck?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So in better effort to support the parts and service department, inventory is already being brought into the warehouses. And so details as far as what parts are being brought in can be found on the aftermarket sales kit. So not only information about those parts, but suggested dealer stocking list. These parts that are being brought into the warehouse, though, do focus on certain areas. So it focuses on maintenance, crash, body, and wear and tear parts. Now, not only does the aftermarket sales kit have information about those, it's got other great information about the Pioneer, but it was originally developed as a parts application, but very helpful for service advisors as well, because there's going to be information about Mack parts, other vendor parts, Remack, decks, road choice, all of that information's on there, which is going to be fantastic when it comes to a customer that might be saving up to be able to buy a new Pioneer, but in the meantime repairing an old truck. The service advisor can use the aftermarket sales kit application to research some potential options to be able to offer them. And again, all of this information can be found on Trucks Dealer Portal. Thanks for tuning in to check out our tips for walkarounds on the all-new Mack Pioneer. Hope you found it helpful, and we'll catch you next time.